Obviously, the crowd's very pro-Sampras, but Kucera seems to have a few friends amongst this large stadium crowd, and I think he might have earned that with his effort against Agassi. He really carried himself with a lot of poise throughout that match in pretty adverse conditions.
Well, he's still dangerous, Kucera. If you give him the opportunity, he will worry you.
30-15.
Do you think that if Sampras holds here for 2 sets to love, then he wouldn't let it slip? This is where you'd expect Sampras to get a couple of first serves in and close it out. He went for it.
Well, you could see in the previous point, Kucera came up with a beautiful backhand pass.
40-15.
He's a little more erratic on the forehand side, and good tactics there from Pete to change the point of attack. So the depth on that approach sets up 2 set points.
Clinical, I think, is the word to describe Sampras this evening. Very economical, doing the job, and sticking to a very set game plan.
Point, please.
Well, Chris, I can't think of too many players in the game today. Lendl certainly had McEnroe, Connors, the real superstars of the game, can just go up, take their level of play up 1 or 2 notches, the way Sampras did at the end of that second set. He sensed that it was maybe danger time. He was being lulled, I think, into a false sense of security. Look at the wind. That was not the yips on the ball toss. That was just the wind taking the ball. But he could just sense that the match was not going his way as it had earlier, and he really just stepped up a couple of gears and closed it out.
Great disguise. Don't often see Sampras playing drop shots.
And have a look where Kucera is. This is where he rallies from, 6-7 feet behind the baseline, and that's a long way forward. And you called it, it's the disguise that beats him.
It's a show. Sit back and enjoy it, folks. The Masters at work. Sampras again picks up his level and gets a break at the start of the 3rd set. 1-love, he leads.
Easier to play someone you're not expected to beat. There's less pressure on you. Sampras goes out, every day he goes out to work, he's expected to win. And that must be quite daunting at times. And you get the feeling at times he does just enough to win. But this year at the US Open, I haven't seen him this purposeful for quite a while. He's aware that the conditions are a little bit faster, the balls are faster, and accordingly he's played a more aggressive game.
Oh, stop it.
Well, we talk about rafters net coverage, but just have a look at this. Kucera had to go in the open court.
30-15.
Read it well, and does he enjoy that? Just have a look where that serve is landing in the backstop. 20 feet wide of the court. Amazing slice.
That was a little bit of a tight shot there from Kucera. Didn't really go for it. Holds it at the last moment, pushed it long and wide. Problem as well when Sampras is in this form is that you feel you have to do something extra all the time just to compete with him.
Yeah, there's no question. He pushes you out of your comfort zone. You feel like you've got to lift your game. Try to do more than you're capable of. Well, even though he has made a few errors on shots like that, he hasn't been willing to get involved in extended rallies. And I think that's the right idea. All you do when you rally with this man is groove him to the point that he barely misses. And Sampras has really kept him off balance.
Sampras.
Maybe slightly unlucky, Kucera. That service came from Sampras, but Sampras really very much in control with that scoreline. I think even though it is quite cold, he's enjoying himself tonight. He's enjoying putting on this show for the people.
Well, it was a terrific shot there. It was a great rally. I think you'd have to say there was an element of luck to that. He was very much off balance. You can see that Sampras had wrong-footed him. Throws himself at the ball perfectly inside the baseline. Yeah, people talk a lot about the fact that Sampras is not overly flamboyant. He doesn't give a lot away, doesn't seem to show a lot of elation when he wins matches, and his mood doesn't change much when he loses. But I think he expresses himself in his tennis, the jump smash, the brilliant running forehands, the drop volleys.
Yeah, I mean, certainly if you were sitting in the crowd tonight, I mean, I would say you're watching a fantastic tennis player at work, and you just enjoy the way that he plays the game, regardless of where he's giving it high fives with people in the crowd when he wins points. But some people like to see somebody dressed in yellow and lime green and bandanas and things. Good game from Kucera. Needed to stop Sampras rolling ever onwards. Sampras 2-1 third set and 2 sets to love. Tall order.
15 love.
And Sampras has to maintain the high rate of first serves. When he gets 2 or 3 free points a game with that serve, he really rolls. In the previous game, you saw he missed a few first serves, and once the second serve's in play, Kucera's right in it. Well, maybe going to the well just once too often with the drop volley. Kucera starting to look for it now.
Well, he's got a couple of chances here, Kucera. It's been rather Sampras errors than his change of tactic. And a break point's a break point. And Sampras may be going for a little bit too much there in that game. A few big forehands missing by half an inch, and he's let Kucera back in this set, 2-all.
Just an amazing pass, particularly considering Sampras only has one hand on the racket on the backhand side. Requires a lot of strength to whip it cross court when the ball's nearly behind your body.
It's a fairly unique shot, that, isn't it? The Sampras angle on the backhand side. It's almost like he just goes straight up the back of the ball without even hitting through it. I don't know anybody else that hits the ball like that and has the same effect.
It's a real flick. Requires great timing.
15.
It's an unusual serve, Kucera. The action is I find very unusual, but it's almost like a dart. He doesn't come over the ball. He doesn't hit it with any real spin. It's very flat. Now, if he hits it deep, it's quite penetrating.
That's a good defensive lob from Sampras, up high, difficult to time, and Sampras has 2 break points to break again.
Well, there's nothing more frustrating than missing a lob wide. More often than not, you see lobs missed long or they're weighted a bit short and the guy gets an easy smash, but there's something annoying when you get it over the guy's head and it just drifts wide on you. You can see Sampras moving inside the baseline. Will he take this on the rise and come in?
Just gone off slightly that side. The Sampras forehand just starting to miss a few that you wouldn't normally expect him to miss. So 15-40 to deuce. Just get the feeling, Wally, that Kucera is starting to get a bit of rhythm from the back. And that's purely because Sampras is letting him do that. Sweet.
Well, we saw it in the second set. Pete, because he is being particularly aggressive and just jumping on anything short. Well, that wasn't even particularly short. On this occasion, Sampras just stepping into the backhand, hitting it beautifully. He is going to make a few errors, and if it's not all on song, he's going to make a couple of errors and let Kucera back in, which is what's happened here after an early break in the third. But we saw that in the second, he was able to regroup. Well, Kucera got in, but it's a slight exaggeration, but the power of some of these Sampras forehands are nearly knocking Kucera off his feet at the back of the court. He's really having to make adjustments just to cope with the power. On a couple of occasions, we've even seen him slip, trying to get his footwork right. Sampras really beating the ball if it's around the service line. I think that's the one thing watching TV on television, you just don't get a grasp of how hard and how fast the ball is travelling.
Break.
First serve percentage in this set, Pete Sampras at 21%. And that's where he's getting himself in trouble. Not getting the freebies he was getting earlier. Kucera roughly the same throughout each set.
That's the favourite, isn't it, down there? See him do it a lot.
It's one of those serves that even though you know he's going there and even though you pick it, he still hits it so well that it's almost unreturnable. It's a bit like Willander's backhand pass down the line. You knew it was going there, you covered it, but somehow he still threaded it by you.
service.
It's a big jump again. Got up well. First love game of this set. And Sampras takes a 4-2 lead.
Well, the difference between that lob and a couple of the lobs that have got over Pete's head is that he read it. Kucera, no real disguise, telegraphed the shot. Sampras was all over it. Well, I love making big statements, so I'll make another one. Agassi's backhand down the line I love, and the Pete Sampras running forehand. One of the greatest shots in the game.
It'd be difficult to say what is the greatest shot right now in the men's game. You've got, as you said, the Sampras forehand, the Agassi backhand. You've got the Rafter net play, Bjorkman's returns. Which one would you pick out, Walt?
Oh, I guess off the ground. Oh, it's hard to say, isn't it? You could create an unbelievable hybrid player, but standouts for me is the Agassi backhand down the line and that running forehand of Pete Sampras. They just make it. They make difficult shots with regularity. It's not just a once in a blue moon shot. They do it time and time again. See Sampras just moving in, trying to put a bit of pressure on the Kucera serve.
Sampras, though, still with a break and a 2-sets-to-love lead.
Drinking plenty of water, eating fruit, and keeping out of the sun does wonders for your skin. But is there anything else you can do? Well, to give your skin all it needs most, Ulay have developed a new type of skincare. Their proven moisturiser and an advanced UV protection system with a vitamin-mineral complex in one complete product. So your skin can look its best while you get on with the important things in life. And the name? Complete Care. From Oil of Ulay, we can prove it's what you need most to look younger.
Imagine if your clothes could stay looking as bright and new as they did in the shop. Well, now there's new improved Lenore Care. Its unique fibre care system helps protect clothes from fading in the next wash, keeping them looking newer for longer. Giving your clothes the complete care no other fabric softener can. Everybody looks and feels good in new Lenore Care.
Welcome back. Carlos Moya against Magnus Larsson in a few minutes. That's a live quarter-final from Flushing Meadows in New York. We've got that for you in a few minutes. Then, in the meantime, back to that Kucera-Sampras match played last night. We rejoin it with Sampras serving for the match at 5-4, third set.
Fine, please. Thank you.
First point that Kucera has taken against Sampras serve in 9 points.
Point, please.
Well, Kucera just showing us that if Sampras doesn't get it quite right, that's what he's capable of. Pete on that occasion, not really threading the line. Kucera had enough time. Well, just when he needed it, his first serve has deserted him. Serving with the wind, serving for the match.
Got to hand it to him. He's come up with the goods when he's needed it in this game, Kucera.
Well, the book on Sampras is when he's serving to the backhand side, he likes the one down the middle when he's in trouble. And obviously Kucera reading it, he was all over it.
2 break points.
Point, please.
Well, he's gotten away with a couple of baseline rallies. There's Mechir holding his breath. Miroslav Mechir, what a great player he was.
Needs a first serve, Sampras. Only one made so far in this game. That is why he's where he is. Wasn't a big serve, it was a 3/4 kicker. Made sure he got it in, made the volley. That's solid play and intelligent play. Back to Juice.
Point, please. Thank you.
Well, there it is, just urging himself on. Kucera attempting a pass, 15 feet behind the baseline. That was never going to work.
Edmund Sampras. Please.
Very casual on match point, it seemed. The crowd was making a lot of noise. Sampras didn't wait for them to be quiet. You might have thought he would have been a bit more deliberate on a match point.
Net for service.
He's a lot like Ivan Isavic in that he just grabs the ball, turns and serves. Doesn't always spend a lot of time. You can see here, just trying to get the newest one. Maybe get a little extra out of the ball.
It's big. 13th ace of the match for Sampras. And it'll give him a second match point.
Advantage Sampras. Set match Sampras. 6-3, 7-5, 6-4.
Some performance from the world #1 this evening again. The Sampras show continues, and in this sort of form, Wally Masur, I don't see anybody can touch him. He's playing on a different level Yes, Rafter is playing well, but Sampras for me is the man.
Well, he's only lost one set so far, and that was to Paul Goldstein in a second round, almost a warm-up match for Pete Sampras. He carves his way through the early rounds of Grand Slam tournaments, and this is the way he finished it off. Clenched fist. It begins to mean something. He's going for US Open title number 5. He's the youngest man ever to win the US Open back in 1990. He was only 19 years of age. And on hard courts, where he knows where the ball is going to be, especially on that forehand.
But he could just sense that the match was not going his way as it had earlier, and he really just stepped up a couple of gears and closed it out.
Fino.
It's great disguise. Don't often see Sampras playing drop shots.
And have a look where Kucera is. This is where he rallies from, 6-7 feet behind the baseline, and that's a long way forward. And you called it, it's the disguise that beats him. Obviously the crowd's very pro Sampras, but Kucera seems to have a few friends amongst this large stadium crowd, and I think he might have earned that with his effort against Agassi. He really carried himself with a lot of poise throughout that match in pretty adverse conditions.
Well, he's still dangerous, Kucera. If you're given the opportunity, he will worry you.
30-15.
Do you think that Sampras holds here?
7 games to 5.
Clinical, I think, is the word
Sampras leads by 2 sets love. Keep your seats
to describe Sampras this evening. Very
Thank you.
economical, doing the job, and sticking to a very set game plan.
Point, please.
Well, Chris, I can't think of too many players in the game today. Lendl certainly had McEnroe, Connors, the real superstars of the game, that can just go up, take their level of play up 1 or 2 notches, the way Sampras did at the end of that second set. He sensed that it was maybe danger time. He was being lulled, I think, into a false sense of security. Look at the wind. That was not the yips on the ball toss. That was just the wind taking the ball.
Oh, it's a show. Sit back and enjoy it, folks. The Masters at work. Sampras again picks up his level and gets a break at the start of the third set. 1-love, he leads.
Easier to play someone you're not expected to beat. There's less pressure on you. Sampras goes out every day. He goes out to work. He's expected to win, and that must be quite daunting at times.
2 sets to love, then you wouldn't let it slip. This is where you'd expect Sampras to get a couple of first serves in and close it out. He went for it.
Well, you could see in the previous point, Kucera came up with a beautiful backhand pass.
14-15.
He's a little more erratic on the forehand side, and good tactics there from Pete to change the point of attack. So the depth on that approach sets up 2 set points.
Second set. Sampras